Jersey, stand the up right now. Stand up. We're about to get into it, y'all. This recap and review for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. This is season 14, episode 6, Margs and Marriage. Let us get on into it, y'all, because I cannot wait to talk about this episode. Hey y'all, what is going on? It is a fine Monday evening and I am recording this for you all. Like I said before, this is still season 14, episode 6. We're back to our regularly scheduled time and place, honey, because y'all already know if you caught my recap and review for last week's episode, we are finally caught up. And I am back to my regular schedule as far as uploading goes. So got that out of the way, right? What else do we need to get out of the way? Y'all, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscription button. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell. Thank you. Thank you. Also, hit the like button. It helps me and my channel in terms of the algorithm, and it helps me attract new subscribers such as yourself. So go ahead, hit that like button, please, and thank you. And while you're at it, you can also share me with all your kinfolk and your friend folk. Thank you. Ooh, y'all. So this episode, it was all right, here and there or whatever. It's kind of like I can't complain to the utmost because we are still getting scenes. Like, just because there is a divide, it's like we still are getting simultaneous, like, split screen scenes with these two, and then we got these two over here and then these two over here. So it does work. I will give them that, but still it is a little odd though that we know that we're not going to get a reunion. We know that we're not going to really, mend that divide, at least not this season around. So there's that. But don't want to make this video too long. Let's get into it, y'all. Shout out to the replay gang. If you see this after the premiere, let's keep the comments going down in the comment section below. So first of all, right off the bat, I threw up in my mouth because Teresa, at your big old age, why are you asking? Like, can you imagine being her big age and then asking your partner, like, oh, do you want me to wear this to the gym? Like, are you okay with that? Like, you just took care of 4 girls. You got one college graduated already. You got another one in college. You got one about to go to college. You got another one over here. You done been prison. I'm not by any means am I trying to big her up for real, because I'm not. She does have her faults as well, but I would be out of my mind if I didn't say, like, girl, it's crazy that she has accomplished all those things on her own and has been the driving force behind getting herself to this point in her life, only to then reduce yourself to asking him, is he cool with what you got on? It just, like, I don't know. It just irritated me in that point because I feel like that's honestly like all what she wants. She just like forgets everything else and it's just Louis. And I don't like that. Like, she just gave up all of everything to just be blinded by whatever he's selling her. Like, I just hate that. I hate that for her. I do. Moving on, the first actual scene we get is with Antonia. She is FaceTiming her parents. Well, we're with the parents. She's on the phone. And we find out she's choosing to study business management, which is cool. In my opinion, my bachelor's is in business administration. So I'm all about the business. I think that's just as important. So shout outs to her with that. Melissa also lets us know that she's been going through it kind of, because she is the only, she is the one and only woman of the house, like for real now. Like even the dog it's a male dog. So it's just like, dang girl, like I could understand how, you could feel like, dang, I wish, my daughter was still here. Like I miss her, yada, yada, yada. Like totally understand that. Right. So there's that. She also wants to hang up with Antonia. She fills in Joe on all of what occurred at the bougie brunch. We know how that went. Yeah, we know how that went. And I'm just like, yes, Joe, you are 100% correct. Jackie was most definitely trying to vibe with Jen / and Teresa. Like you're 100% correct. When you heard Melissa 100% correctly, I should say. Your sister was like just like the beacon of everything that Jackie loves in life down at that brunch. And apparently they're still going strong according to the Instagram and everything else. And you're also correct, Joe, when you say, yeah, what can you do for me lately? I feel like they are using, mainly Teresa in this case is using Jackie as a chess piece, and Jackie's falling right into it, and she's lapping that shit up like freaking pudding. I don't understand, but whatever. At the same time, we get one of these split scenes, right, y'all? So we got Jackie, Giudice Goldsnyder. We were just talking about her. So we got her. She's visiting Teresa at this point in time at her house. They're all huggy, kissy. And she even brought her a gift. And, even in her confessional, she's talking about how excited she is that they're, hanging out. And she just, she's in a different space now. And like, she almost immediately brings up Margaret and how, it's just so much more fun hanging out with Teresa and Jen. They seem like real fun, and that's just where she is right now. Teresa's eating it all up, of course. And I'm just like literally still vomiting in my mouth at this point in time. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I ain't. And she also found it funny. She being Jackie found it funny when Teresa when she made that comment about John Fuda being a parking attendant or whatever. She just found that too comical. And I was just like, as soon as she came on my screen, y'all, that was my face. Like, Jackie, go home. Like, nobody even wants you here anymore. It's like she just... And y'all, some of y'all might be looking at me as a hypocrite, and I'm here to tell you I am 100% not a hypocrite, because I do like when cast members can come back together and they could bury the hatchet, they could move on, and we could get, a show that isn't filled with so much negativity. I get that. And I am still standing strong on that. But the way that Jackie just folded and the way that she's speaking, it's not done in the best way, if you ask me. It's done, and she's like just making it look just so gross, so goddamn gross. Like, I can't see. I'm cursing already. Told myself I was going to do that. Moving on. So over at Rachel's house, she also hops on FaceTime with Marge, and they start talking about the bougie brunch, of course. Marge wasn't there, but she fills her in on what all occurred, right? So she even conveys to Marge that Teresa was, dancing around her question concerning the comments she made about John selling drugs. And she even also, again, referred to him as a parking attendant or whatever. And y'all, when I say that Marge is when I say I laughed at this part, I really did laugh, because that's exactly what I would have been thinking the entire time, Marge. So shout outs to you. Isn't her husband unemployed and mooches off of her? Because last time we checked, what the did Louis do? Somebody drop down in the comments and let me know, because beats the hell out of me. 2 points for Marge. So honestly, I really don't want to spend too much time on this because Paulie is officially on my list, if you ask me. And that's because them two, him and Dolores, they went to go sit down, grab a bite, whatever. And she basically hits him with the whole, like, there's really no point in us talking about real estate and, looking to buy something together or whatever. And, your divorce is still not final. Last time I checked, last year, it was supposed to be finalized. Here we are this year, and where are we at with it? And when I tell you this motherfucker jumped right off the porch with, so do you think I'm just gonna get divorced and gonna get engaged with you the next day? I feel like he was flipping this entire thing, and I really don't like that because she's the one that is well within her right, I feel like, to be holding your feet to the fire right now, because you have given her this idea. Obviously, she wouldn't just be pulling this out of thin air. You've given her confirmation that it was going to be handled last year or whatever. It seems like you're dragging your goddamn feet every 5 minutes, and you are then trying to tether yourself to me through real estate when we really should be tethered a whole different way before we even think about that. Like, and he's all, I'm direct and I'm don't nobody give about none of that, because she didn't give him like an actual ultimatum, but it was more of like a wake up, eye opener, wake up call, if you ask me, because she tells him like, hey, like, I might wake up one day and feel like, this is not working for me. This is not happening fast enough. Like, I've been down this road with David. We got some flashbacks of that. And it's just like, that's where I'm at with it. So basically you need to do something. And he's putting the ball in her court, talking about she needs to figure that out sooner rather than later. And I'm just like, she's saying that to you because what she is saying right now directly hinges upon you making the first move. And by the first move, we mean divorce. I don't give a fuck about hearing about you guys are separating assets and you don't want to be the bad guy. And we don't care about any of that, y'all. We don't, or at least I don't. I'm speaking for myself. I'm speaking for myself. And my homegirls on Twitter, because I tweeted this and they liked it. So clearly I'm not alone. But y'all feel me? Like, the way that he tried to flip the script on her, I feel like, and shift, I don't want to say the blame, but shift the focus onto what she needs to figure out now or do now, is complete shit. Like, excuse me. Anyway, so I'm not going to spend too much time on Danielle and her fashion show because it's just like whatever to me. Like, it was cool, it was cute and all, but like there wasn't too much with that. So at this point, she was just talking to Nate about like all the things she needs to prepare the day before, yada yada yada. She picked out these next pieces. Boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. We already know her mom's not going to be there. She's on a cruise. And instead, though, luckily, she's going to have her godmother in attendance. Her godmother is also her dad's first cousin, if I'm getting that correct. And this is where she got a lot of her bouginess fun, she says, like, from her godmother. So cool. And they touch on her dad as well. Moving on. Over with Marge, she is down to the, I guess, is it a country club, golf course, whatever. And she's there to do some charity work in support of Clubs for a Cause. Yes, Clubs for a Cause. And she's there, her and the girls, it was Dolores, Lexi, Melissa, and Rachel. And then their husbands also were, doing the guys thing, right? So they start riding around in golf carts, they're hiding out beverages. And when they go to take a break, Melissa tells them about how she is completely starting anew with Jennifer. They met up, and afterwards, she decided that she's going to invite her to the housewarming party. So no surprises there. And I think I can say that Melissa's at least covering all her bases. Whether or not I feel like she's 100% genuine in wanting to have this friendship, this positive, healthy friendship with Jennifer is beyond me. I'm not sure. I can't say yes or no on that one. But what I will say is she's at least going about it in the most honest way. No one could say she didn't invite her to the party. No one could say that she isn't, continuing to at least appear like she's moving in that direction. What's happening off screen is a whole different story, I guess, but I'm just basing this off of what we see in the episode. So that's where we're at with that. And she also lets them know that she invited Jackie. And Marge is like, of course you invited her, because heaven forbid you don't. She'll go spiraling and throwing her hands up in the air and saying, woe is me, like she always does. She always ooh, Jackie, be gone. That's exactly how I feel at this point, because she's really pissing me off, y'all. If you haven't noticed by now, you're gonna learn today. Jackie is pissing me off. For real, she is. And that conversation's followed up by Dolores letting them know about how she talked to Paulie about this supposed divorce. I'm using air quotes at this point now until I see the ink on the paper and it's signed, sealed, delivered. It's yours, is how I feel. So air quotes. So she brings up the whole comment he made about getting down on one knee and expecting a divorce the next day. And she tried to present it well, but at the same time, Dolores, I'm still not forgetting that last week you said if he was to divorce or if he was to propose to you, you're all in. You're saying yes. So like, I feel like, I don't know if she said that in front of him or whatever, but I feel like he's moving to that tempo that basically gives him the green light to move at whatever pace he wants. So it's like, you're saying this in front of girls, but are you really bent out of shape that much? Or you just get bent out of shape when they bring it up? Just a question. So, and I love how Marge was like, yeah, that's exactly what we were expecting, because I am the shining example of, I got divorced and me and Joe got married a week later in Sin City, baby. So what is your excuse? Just saying. And while they're talking about this, the guys are over there playing golf or whatever, and having kind of a similar conversation. And Paulie's all making it about how, he's thinking of starting to work back out of Jersey versus the city, and how he's been thinking about, how him and Dolores are going to go to the business together, flipping houses, and that's the main focus and stuff. And Joe is like, I've known Dolores since I was 5 years old. That is definitely not what's on the forefront of her mind. So I don't know what's up in that big old head of yours, but it must just be air and space and nothing else. And then we end this scene with them putting the ball, like the tee or whatever, it's called a tee, right, in the cracks of their asses, and proceeding to swing and hit the ball off of the tee that's between the cheeks. Yeah. Very Jersey Boys style, I will say that. So then we finally get this meeting between Jen and no, I'm moving too far ahead. Jen and Jennifer, we see them, the two Jens, meeting up for a cocktail and a bite. They get along really good, so they say. And we find out that Jen's daughter actually is a senior at Delaware, the same school that Antonia goes to. So that was cool. Jennifer also tells them that things are getting better with Melissa, as we said before. It's not 100%, but they're working towards it, which is cool. And she's going to be attending the housewarming party. although Teresa knows she was invited, Teresa does not know that she has accepted the invitation yet and is actually going. So that's going to be a fun conversation, I guess. Jen actually asked her about that. Inquiring minds want to know, like, how do you think she's going to, feel about it and everything? And, on one hand, Jennifer's like, Teresa knows that we're all going to be in shared spaces together and all this, but I do feel like she's saying that, but in the back of her head, she knows very well that this is probably going to be an issue. It's probably going to be an issue. You're supposed to be her, Teresa's ace boon coon, and that's her mortal enemy over there. And you guys are now going to be, sharing spaces and hugs and kisses. Like, that's probably not going to go well for someone that is at the maturation level that Teresa is at. Just saying. What else happened in that scene? Nothing really, except for Jen comparing that situation to the situation between her and Teresa and Marge, and how she's kind of like in the middle, I guess, of that, and trying to play both sides. When, if you want to call it that, I feel as though Jen is only playing one side, and that is the side of Teresa. Like, that's kind of how she's been moving, in my opinion. So, and even according to Instagram, like, that's all I've really been seeing is Teresa, Jen squared, and freaking Jackie. So if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. I don't care, because I don't know none of these ladies in real life, but the optics look stank as hell. Just saying. And of course, Jen is automatically going to start caping for Teresa, talking about, oh yeah, she took accountability. And all this stuff, because Jennifer let her know about Danielle feeling some type of way about what was said in front of Lena and that whole thing at the bougie brunch. And again, my thing is, Danielle, you were completely in the wrong. However you want to chop and screw it is up to you, Mus Mama, but you were dead ass wrong, if you ask me. And if I was Lena, I would have got you all the way together. Like, you had me open my salon doors to do your hair the day before, but now you're talking about you're telling me I ain't worth a damn. I ain't worth being in a VIP. And I've actually been amongst this group longer than you. I might not be a cast member on the show, bitch, but I've definitely been in the mix for some years now. So who are you? She got humbled real quick fucking with me, but just saying. That's just how I would have handled it. Anyway, then we had Danielle's New York Fashion Week debut. Melissa and Nick showed up actually for her. It seemed to go off really good for her. Claps, claps, claps. We're happy to hear it. That's all I really got for her. So yeah, moving on. Now we find out that there's going to be a sit down between Rachel, John, Teresa, and Louis. And that was facilitated by Paulie. He kind of was the middleman that coordinated that between them, I guess. So I guess we'll give him a half a point for that. Not really, because who cares? And after a cringy little scene with Teresa and Louis at the pool, then we see John and Rachel having a conversation. They're getting geared up to have this meeting too. Both sides are going into it with different things on their brain. So that already tells you guys that this is probably not going to end with hugs and kisses. That's because John is going into it expecting at least two apologies. One about the drug dealer comment and the other one about the parking lot attendant comment. So he's expecting those two things. On the other hand, Teresa and Louis are coming in on the whole, like, oh yeah, we're above this, and we don't even stoop down to acting like these levels of immaturity and all this stuff. And I could have said something back to Rachel when she tried to make it seem like I ain't accomplished anything since being out of prison, but that's just like not the space I'm in anymore. Like, that's not the Teresa Giudice I am right now. So we gonna go into this, because we bigger than this type. And again, I already knew that was gonna be a recipe for disaster. And Rachel's whole thing is like, that's not cool. You literally weaponize something, that piece about John's past, and put it on display. No pun intended, right? You put it on display, and that's not cool, because you wouldn't want anybody else to do that. And we've seen in the past, when anybody even spoke a word about anything that had to do with Louis Ruel, whatever his last name is, you had your ass on your back, Teresa. So spare me. But anyway, they meet at a place called RP Prime, which I'm gonna check out because it's like a real good steakhouse next time I'm home. And after figuring out which side is going to start, because it was very much, again, they was coming into this scene and we already knew the heads was going to be bumping. We already knew it. And so then Louis, does Louis go for, actually, no, Louis didn't really even say anything during the scene, y'all, which was weird to me, but Teresa tells him that she bought a gift for Joe, the housewarming and all that. She heard through the grapevine, she heard through Jackie Giudice Goldsnyder that he was going to be having a housewarming, so she bought a gift. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think that was a true olive branch? Do you think that was weird? Do you think that that was her trying to, make amends or show him that she still loves him? Like, what do you guys think about that? Interesting. It was about a Blue Label, and that ish ain't cheap. I know, because I got some downstairs on a bar cart and we do not crack it open. That's waiting for like the day we hit the lottery. If I'm being for real, y'all. And so John starts to speak up about, saying like, that's actually one of the reasons your brother, coincidentally, is actually one of the reasons why I'm here, because I have a lot of respect for that man. And Teresa's all like, well, I wish you had respect for me too. And she's like, I actually thought, we kind of understood each other, or we were getting along, or whatever, however she puts it. And it's just like, when did that change? And I'm just, again, I already knew that this was not going to go over well, because it takes certain people to be honest, and honesty was unfortunately not brought to this table by everybody who was sitting at it. It just wasn't. John wants to know exactly why she called him a drug dealer, and Teresa immediately starts downplaying it, making it seem as though she didn't mean that he currently was one. I call bullshit. Sorry, I do. She put that out there knowing exactly what it was meant to do, and it did that. So it had people probably looking at him all types of crazy, and again, she would not like that if it was done to her or her husband. She did try to give this weak ass apology, but again, you can't apologize if you refuse to take full accountability for exactly what you said and how you meant it. Just saying. And he takes her down memory lane by saying, like, you collect that information for somebody who is literally a criminal in jail right now for manufacturing crystal meth. Like, and to take it a step further, the same person actually grabbed the steering wheel for me right across the street here at 55 miles per hour and made me hit a telephone pole, broke my femur. So, and Teresa's all like, no, stop, John, stop. That's Jaden's mom. And I was like, yes, girl. I just need to tell you guys, I've been really proud to be a fellow Jersey girl these last couple episodes as it pertains to Miss Rachel Fuda, because she's been eating Teresa up every which way she turns, and I have been here for it. Because she was like, no, actually, I'm Jaden's mom. Hi, nice to meet you. Shut her down with a smooth quickness. Very nice, nasty. Put some respect on her name is basically what she was saying. And I was here for it. Keep doing that. Keep that same energy all season long from here on out, Rachel. Please do that. So at that point, they start going, this side saying this side, this side saying whatever they saying, this side saying whatever they saying, and nothing got accomplished. We ended with, and again, speaking of Jersey, Teresa calling John Fugazi Okay, yeah, by John Fugazi or whatever. Like Jersey as like, because that's some I would say. That is some shit I would say for real. We would love to call somebody Fugazi. So that did make me laugh, but not as much as him turning back and letting her know, ha ha ha, you're the poster child for mortgage fraud. So if I ever want to, you know, evade taxes or whatever, I'll hit you up. And that's where we left off, y'all, with them hurling, you know, insults back at each other. Don't see that. I don't see that foursome coming together to play patty cake anytime soon. I don't, y'all. And Teresa was on Watch What Happens Live. I caught a bit of it, but nothing. It was giving like, I just don't like Melissa. And you know what I thought about too? Like, I guess Teresa said that she hasn't changed her last name because like her daughters like just like have the same last name, whatever, that whole thing, that whole logic. I honestly think it's because like, if anything, she probably would have gone back to like, okay, let's talk about her going back to Gorga. Let's talk about that. I don't think that she would even want to do that because like Melissa's last name is Gorga. And even though she was someone who had the last name Gorga first, technically, it's still like she wants no parts of anything that Melissa has parts of, I feel like. So she just completely relinquished that name because she doesn't want to be associated. Again, I might be putting 20 on 10 with that, but that's just how I looked at it. Nonetheless, y'all, that's all I got for this recap and review. We shall reconvene next week well, it's this week now, actually. Episode 7 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Please let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.